Okay, hi. Good
Hi.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So before we talk about our guest today, a little leading question, some foreshadowing, if you will.
Yes.
Were you a Queer Eye watcher?
Yes. From the beginning. Yes.
First version?
Yes.
That's back when we called it Queer Eye for the straight guy.
Yeah.
You know, we gave it the whole long thing.
All my answers are going to be yes.
Yes. Did I love it? Yes. Did I watch every episode? Yes.
Multiple times. Loved it.
Loved it. And then the new iteration too.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I would say I loved the second version more. I was more emotionally invested, I think.
Yeah.
The first one was fun. You know, eye candy, like a little, I don't know. It was reality TV, you know, like a good combination of the design shows and
It's true. I'm looking right
campy
now.
a little bit. The second one, this was just, every single episode was so dear at some point. Like really
Oh, I cried and cried.
vulnerable and like the kindness when they were working with people.
I know.
Like the empathy and kindness just.
I know.
And then also like, gorgeous results.
Beautiful. Phenomenal. I was just looking this up. The first round of Queer Eye, like back with like Carson and Ted and them, 2003.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't that feel like it's longer than you remembered?
Yes.
2003 to 2007. That was also still a little bit at the genesis of reality TV, just period. Like now that's all programming.
Yes.
But back then that was so like innovative and different. And of course, the like, just the fun gall to say the word queer. Like in such a public way, like that they're going to just go ahead and call their whole show that.
It was actually a really big deal.
It was a big deal. Like that put this sort of, it normalized the community, the language,
Right.
the relationships, the friendships. And
I mean, it normalized just the word queer.
yeah, even just the word queer. That's so true.
Like you could say it out loud.
Yeah. Could just write it and put it right on a commercial. Oh God, I loved it too. I loved it, but I absolutely loved the second iteration. So you can put a pin in that, listeners, because we're going to be coming right back to that show, as you well know, in a few minutes. But before we do, let's do a little Gen Excellence.
It's Gen Excellence. Gen Excellence. Gen Excellence.
Yet another breadcrumb for our guest. Gen Excellence today is going to revolve around interior design.
Got it.
So, in our era, what, in terms of interior design in any way, are you happy that it is in the rearview mirror? Like, we grew up with this. This is something that was in our houses or your house or your grandma's house or just whatever. And we say no. Also, maybe, is there anything that you would say, love to see that make a comeback?
Not many
Yeah.
that I'd like to see.
So real.
I would say shag carpet.
Oh,
Like
I have so much to say about that.
the shag carpet through the whole house and sometimes in the bathroom. It's just
Like
like
carpet in our bathroom.
just for hygiene alone. And honestly, I still have a little carpet in my house now. I've been saying I'm going to rip it up for 2 years. I'm closer now.
Yeah.
But
Closer
it's
in your
just
brain? Are you closer to the actual task?
the actual task.
How are you closer?
Well, I have a contractor.
Oh, well, that is closer.
I mean, it's my friend.
Is the contractor Brad Harden?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, our friend Hugo.
Oh, all right.
We're in line. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, no more.
Wait, is this the carpet in your living room? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a kid with asthma. I have asthma. We should have never had carpet. But whatever. When you know better, you do better. So, but shag carpet,
Yeah.
never again.
Yeah.
Like if you want to have a giant rug, fine, take it outside and wash it. But the carpet's just,
Oh my God. Like at my grandparents' cabin in Colorado. So it was like outside of Colorado Springs, up in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Anyway, they built this A-frame cabin in the 70s. And every square inch was red. And I mean red shag carpet. I mean, it just looked like a whole gaggle of Muppets were just like laying on the ground. No, I know. And I think I liked it. Like, I think I can remember like laying in the carpet and threading my fingers through all the carpet. Isn't that sick? My grandma, same grandma, in her house back in Kansas, her favorite color was pink, like pink everything. And she had her own bathroom because that's how you keep a long marriage. Her bathroom was pink from top to bottom. The countertops, the bathtub, the little, remember how grandparents did, what do you want to say? Like covers on the toilet?
oh yes.
Like seat toilet covers?
Yeah, yeah.
And pink shag.
Shag.
Carpet. And to be honest with you, I loved it at the time.
Well, you were a child.
I mean, I was a child, and it was like living inside a Barbie house, and it's absolutely amazing. What's interesting from the Gen X like perspective is that we, and I'm positive you did too, because everybody did, all the appliances were like avocado and gold, yellowish gold.
My house was brown.
So it was
Brown sink, brown stove.
brown paneling. Did you have paneling?
Yes, but honestly, our paneling was like real wood, like polished. It actually was very pretty.
Oh.
Like I wouldn't
Wood.
choose paneling in my house now, but my parents loved collecting art. Like it sort of had a gallery feel.
Okay, well that's better than the disgusting fake wood.
Yes.
Like paneling everybody else had in the 70s. At least that was real.
And honestly, there's some of that I'd like seeing still, like when people have preserved it. My grandparents' lake house when I was growing up. Did you go there?
I went there one time, remember?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't there. But that was full 70s.
Yeah.
Like the couch was brocade avocado green,
Sure.
all the appliances. And I loved walking in that door. Like just nostalgia alone. But again, I wouldn't want it in my own house.
No, but we do. We love it in our memories. It's so funny too. Like when I look at old pictures from I'm 2, I'm 3, I'm 4, I'm 5. It's just so, it is a color palette. Like you look at the pictures, but also when one of our peers posts their little preschool pictures online, I'm like, that could be my house. All of our houses looked like that.
Yes.
Everybody's house had that reddy, orangey, goldy, greeny look to it. Some of that has made a bit of a comeback. Oh my God. Case in point. God, I think this is the second time we've talked about this on the show, but the beautiful new KitchenAid stand mixer.
With the wooden bowl.
And you know what color it is? It's avocado green.
Yes. It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and I want to build a whole life around it. And so I am, redoing my stairs right now, like my stairs, and we built out under the stairs. And the chair, I bought a vintage chair and had it recovered in like rust orange.
Oh.
I'm just saying that there's a place for those colors in today's society.
There is. There's a place for all colors.
That's a good point.
It's just we style them differently.
Okay, that's true.
And the materials are a little upgraded now.
You're right. The materials are better. And also, it's the one color as an accent. It's not the whole room.
Right. And our clothing.
This is true.
Where we just blend into the carpet with our,
true.
God,
it's so true.
Holly Hobby dresses.
Let's do one more segment before we bring on our darling guest. let's do a little bless and release. Okay. This has clear relevance for my life right now, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I would like your question. And by the way, you can say what you want here. It's a free country. It's a democracy. You can bless this or you can release it, you know?
I always do.
What was it? Was it maybe about 10 years ago when the trend was everything was kind of light gray and white? Do you remember?
Yes.
We were kind of transitioning out of like peanut butter. You remember that color when all of our walls were sort of
Grayish.
Yes, exactly. And then it went to like cool. We went to cool gray and white, and that was what every square inch of everything was.
Everything. Exterior, interior.
Yeah, all. Like there was just it was stripped away of anything that had any color in it. So, bless and release. What do you think about the gray and the white everything?
For me personally, I think it's not applicable because I never.
Because you never did it?
I never did that.
Oh, see, look at you. Back in the trends.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
Because, 10 years ago, my house was chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4 little boys, like toys everywhere. Yeah. Like I loved going to my friends' houses where it was just cool and calm and nothing to look at.
So true.
But honestly, that's not what I'm drawn to anyway. Like,
it's true, it isn't.
My house looks like a rainbow exploded.
You have a Kelly green velvet couch.
I do.
And I am obsessed with it.
And a gallery wall that really does have like every single color.
And wallpaper. Like you've got wallpaper.
I've got some bad shit wallpaper going on.
I love it.
And like that design feel in one room is completely different than the other room. And my house is teeny, teeny, tiny. So you can see everything if you're standing in one place.
One thing worth noting, listeners, and it's definitely worth noting, and we don't have time to discuss it in its scope, but just by way of fact, Amy lives in the house where Brad Hardin was raised as a boy. Yes?
Yes.
Like, this was her mother-in-law's house, and her husband was raised in it, and she's lived in it since, what?
97?
97, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yes. And
kept that shit in the family, is what you did.
Newsflash, we're not leaving.
Yeah, why would you? You practically, at this point, live downtown.
Yeah.
Like, downtown has grown out to you, so you are centrally located.
I mean, there's some pretty devastating construction going on.
Truly.
Right now, but when it is done, I will be 10 minutes from Zilker.
Truly.
On an acre.
I know.
Like,
when we never replace it.
No. When we moved in, I was like, this is cute. We'll be here for a year. Oh. And whatever. I just didn't understand the benefit of a large lot in a small house. And now I fully embrace it.
Of course.
And I've decorated it like I've never seen the color gray. So
that's so true. So for you, it's an easy bless and release. You never blessed it.
I yearned for it for a time when it wasn't accessible to redo my whole house. And then it turns out the next time I redecorated or painted, I just still went all out. So what about you?
Well, I told our guest this, so I won't belabor the story a second time, but so when I went on my big 50th birthday trip, so I went to the river cruise in Europe and then straight to Iceland. And so the whole thing was, 2.5 weeks long or whatever. And for whatever reason, that trip put more gas in my tank than I have had in a very long time. I mean, I just came back full to the brim, okay, I don't know what it was, some sort of magic alchemy. I'm not really sure. But one thing is that I came back to my house and went, you know what? This is my house. I am the sole owner of it. The mortgage is in my name. I am a girl. I can literally do what I want in this house. It's mine. I don't have to couch it with like a masculine partner or like fact check my preferences with another person. I'm like, it's mine. And at the same time, I had noticed, having kind of traveled a bit, that I'm drawn to rooms or spaces or houses that have life in it. Like, I like color. Mm-hmm. I like it when a room is even outrageous. Whether or not I would exactly do that thing, I'm like, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
That is your clear personality. And I love to see it. And it feels like the whole idea of, you know how people would always tell us, well, what about resale? You know, like you wouldn't want to paint it in case of resale. And I'm like, whoever told us that we should just like be living in our homes in such a temporary mindset?
Right.
Like we're always thinking about the next buyer. What a weird way to live.
And also it's paint.
It's paint. I mean, literally it's paint. It's one day. So anyway, I had grayed down my house like everybody else did 10 years ago. Every inch gray and white. And I was like, except that I like color. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell more of this story in the interview, but I just want you to know that I'm now in possession of a master bathroom that is fuchsia. And my whole stairwell, in which we built out underneath bookshelves, painted all the trim, and put up this to die for huge graphic wallpaper, is peacock. Is that a color? Do you know what I mean when I say peacock?
Yes.
Kind of a greeny blue.
Yes.
It's outrageous.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. And the chair that's going under it's going to be like orange. I'm like, I like color.
I'm so proud of the designer who came up with that wallpaper.
I am too.
Like went into a meeting, he was like, hear me out.
I know.
An 8-foot bird.
She's not really even exaggerating. Like,
no, it takes up the whole
it does.
stairwell.
That's
and
right.
someone was like, yes, someone's going to buy that and it's going to be amazing.
8-foot birds. We hear it. We love it.
Yes.
Like, I know. And I had to buy, this is embarrassing. I had to buy way more than I needed because it was going up the staircase.
Yeah, at a diagonal.
At a diagonal. And I had to run it like it was straight. Mm-hmm. So I ended up using about 30% of what I bought, and it was expensive. Mm. And I told Jenny and Shauna, who did all the decorating for me, I just said, am I being stupid? Is this dumb? Should I just get a wallpaper that just can go any which way? And they were like, if you don't get the big birds, we're not going to be your friend anymore. And I was like, oh.
And also, if you had gotten something else, those big birds would have haunted you.
They would have.
Because my dining room wallpaper, I saw.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nope, it's too expensive, too fancy, too outrageous. Oh. And I looked for a year for something that would be as good, and nothing was ever going to be as good for me, for my instincts.
Yes.
So I ended up getting it.
See? And it just, all you did was delay the beauty for a year.
Well,
and then you came back to it.
I need to redo my tiny little office that was once a laundry room. And I might procure some of your extra wallpaper.
Oh my God, I have it. It is rolled up in a bin.
Yeah, not to be like, I want my office to look like Jen's stairwell, but just, it's
well,
fantastic.
It's awesome. You can't help it if you have eyes.
Right.
And you know something's pretty.
Yes.
You can 100% have my leftover.
Okay.
No, I don't know what kind of state it's in. It's a diagonal. You know what I'm saying? I know that you know what I'm saying. It's just sort it out. You know what I mean?
I know, but also think about my house. Like if I'm going to decorate a small room, you don't need much. I need 12 square feet of something.
It's all yours, man.
Okay.
Oh, that's very exciting. And we'd have matching birds. Oh, okay. All right. That's enough. Because
enough.
This whole conversation is a segue into the one we're about to have because, you love him, you know him, you have followed him, you adore him. We have Bobby Berk on the show today. So darling.
Berk.
Guys, so darling. He's actually been on the show before. He was here in a really wonderful time called April 2020. So we talk about that with him because he and his Queer Eye crew had just gotten to Austin where they were going to film the whole next season. And he told us they got, what did he say? 2 episodes in, and the pandemic hit. And so he was actually stranded in Austin for 5 months. A bunch of them were. They just stayed here. So it's like, I'm sorry that our city is a scene of like both rest and trauma.
Right.
Because it was both. But Bobby is here again. By the way, if you missed the interview that I did with him back in 2020, I'll link to it because it was so lovely. I mean, it was a heartfelt conversation, and he talked about what it was like. He left home at age 15 just to get away from like the homophobia that was just taking him out. And it's a real beautiful story of his own resilience and his own independence to be who he was. And so I'll link to it if you want to hear that original episode. And so in case you just, I don't know, don't have a television set, let me remind you about Bobby Berk. He is an Emmy-winning design expert, TV host, and best known for his beautiful design work on Queer Eye over on Netflix. And, you know, he worked with this fabulous team, and they transformed, well, lives, homes, spaces, hearts, minds. It was just such a beautiful show. So Bobby leads his own very multifaceted brand, and that's all over at bobbyberk.com. And I mentioned this to him, but it's a great website. Like, if you have any design questions, if you're looking for inspiration, if you've got a problem space, it is packed with ideas, pictures, like troubleshooting. It is a really, really great resource for anybody who's designing anything at all. His design firm is a leader in the home building industry. In 2020, Architectural Digest crowned Bobby as one of the most famous interior designers working today, which is facts, big facts. And then last year, Bobby released his very first book, which is called Right at Home: How Good Design is Good for the Mind. And he's a great human being. We loved talking to him today.
Yes.
And so easy and so lovely and so wonderful. And so we are delighted to welcome him back to the show, and we're so happy that you are here, listener. And so please enjoy this darling conversation with me and Amy and the wonderful Bobby Berk. Well, this is how we feel about seeing your face on our screen. Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
You look
Great to be
amazing. I'm
back.
happy to have you back. Yeah, you were on the show almost 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah, 2020, I think. Yeah, because I think I was in
2020. It was a great year.
It was lovely. I mean,
Yes.
I know I'm like, it actually really was for me. It was great. I was in Austin, you know.
I know you were.
We went to Austin to work, but then obviously 3 days into working, we were stopped. And I just had like a lovely 5 months in Austin chilling, which was kind of great at the beginning. I mean, it went on, it ended up going on a little too long, but yeah, those first few months, I'm like, this is kind of nice.
I mean, we remember when they were all stranded here? They were filming Queer Eye in Austin. They were literally 1 minute into the show.
Yeah, we got like 3 days of the first episode filmed, and then they're like, "Oh, we're gonna shut down for a week, and then we'll reevaluate." Oh, yeah. And then a year later, we finally came back.
That's right.
I'm just remembering that the last time you interviewed him, I came by to like drop stuff off, and I came out to the little shed and was like on the window.
I don't remember that.
How was it again?
And you were answering, and then finally you were like, "I'm interviewing Bobby." I was like, "Oh, sorry,
darn it." Well, yes. So this is a different year. 2024 is different than 2020. Yeah. For everyone, involved. I think we had you in April. Can you imagine?
We met in 2019? Was it 19? We met just on a little dock in Mexico.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yes. I had forgotten.
Tried with all of my heart to be a normal person, and I'm fairly sure I failed. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
I know.
I think the low point was when Bobby's just walking by, just like a person, you know, with his family.
Trying to vacation.
He's just on a vacation, and I reached and grabbed all the girlfriend's arms, squeezed like in a vice grip. And then I don't know if there's another way to say it, but I low-key assaulted him. Wrapped my arms around you. I mean, full frontal. Like, it was like, anyway, I'm really sorry about that. It was
fine. I've had worse.
I don't know that you have, but I do appreciate your generosity.
You'd be surprised the lack of boundaries some people have. But you were fine.
Oh, yeah. Do they just throw themselves at you?
Yeah. There's
Yeah, well,
my favorite is when you're walking and people like run up and grab your shoulder and flip you around because they think that I know them and I think I'm getting attacked or something. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, it's alarming. And I got news for you. That's your fault, buddy, because that's how you are. You made all of us love you. And so our hands are clean here. Like, you should have been like less charming. And I mean that. So you made this bed and now you have to lie in it. And I don't make the rules. So anyway, 4 years is a lot of time. You have big changes in your life for sure. It was really fun to read about your really cool partnership with Tri-Point Homes. I love that. Yeah. Did you read about this?
I read about it. Yes. I took a quiz online.
Did you take the quiz?
To establish.
And what's your style?
It's what I want to know.
Luxe Bohemian.
That's exactly right, Bobby.
I thought you said Alexa Bohemian. It's like, is this a little bit Alexis? Nice, I can see that.
Oh, I don't hate that as a brand. If you want to workshop that.
Not me.
Then that quiz must be really effective because that is 100% your style.
I mean, one of my answers got to be like, I would take a car ride through the woods. Oh, yeah. I was like, yes, that's me.
God, it really is.
Yeah, the quiz isn't just about, design stuff. It's about really getting into the psyche of who you are and what you enjoy.
Yeah.
I hate the quizzes that are
I love that.
What's your favorite lamp? What's your favorite thing? I'm like, no, what's your favorite vacation? What's your favorite meal? We really try to get into who you are.
Yeah, I love that about you. I love your whole design ethos. Your thing is, you say it all the time in 1,000 different ways that for you are working to make design accessible for regular people. Because not everybody is a celebrity. Not everybody has a $10 million home. Not everybody has a $15 million budget. And so it's this democratization of design, which I love this because we're just regulars. And so I'd love to hear about, because you were a designer long before the show came around, before Queer Icon. I mean, this is your work. And so can you tell us a little bit about your early inroads into design? Like, who were you paying attention to? What were you drawn to? Who did you love? Like, what were you learning in those early building years that now like have become this huge like successful brand?
So I mean, in the early years, why can't I think of his name now? I keep saying to say Michael Crichton, but that was my favorite author, not my favorite architect.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Just 1 second. My goodness, what is wrong with my memory? It's too early. Michael Graves. There we go. Michael Graves. I'm like, Michael Crichton is Jurassic Park. Michael Graves is Tea Kettles.
I mean, I understand the crossover clearly, but it's fine.
It's early. So I would say like my first kind of look into design, I can't remember if we talked about this the first time or not, was Michael Graves' collaboration with Target back in the 90s. It was the very first collaboration they ever did. And he's a very famous architect. He's since passed about 5 to 10 years ago. But he did that collection of tea kettles and spatulas and toasters and just like really cool, unique home kitchen stuff. And I remember walking into Target and looking at that. And before, things were just very utilitarian. A spoon, you just shoveled food in your mouth with it. It didn't need to be pretty. It just needed to be functional. But I remember looking at those items and being like, oh, there's people out there thinking about not only how things function, but how things make you feel and how things look while they're functioning. And that's what really made me started thinking about design and the connection between mental health and design, because, things can make you feel good while they're helping you. And that was kind of where I got started thinking about wanting to go in design was, a kid, probably late teens at that point, standing in Target, looking at Michael Graves' collection. And that's always been kind of my ethos, is to make things functional, but to make people happy, because your space really affects who you are. It really affects your mental health. It affects you both inside and outside of the home. It affects your relationships with your family. If you don't have a good functioning home, you're frustrated, you're annoyed. Well, that gets taken out on your kids when they're little shitheads. And when you dropped your face cream out of your cabinet in the morning because there was too much stuff in it, and then by the time you get down to your kitchen with your kids, you've just had enough and they haven't even opened their mouth yet. A good functioning home really affects so many different parts of your life.
You're right. It absolutely, that is so true. I love that I don't remember if you mentioned that collab, that Target collab, as your kind of inspo. I love that. What I remember, this goes back to this idea of you making design beautiful and accessible for regular people. Right. My first memory of that is when Isaac Mizrahi did his collab with Target. Do you remember that body?
I think he was the second one. I think first
was he two?
Yeah, I think Isaac was number 2. So about 4 or 5 years ago, oh God, maybe that's 6 years ago at this point, Target had their 20th anniversary of collabs. So it was 20 years since Michael Graves. And they actually had me be in the ad campaign. So I was up on a billboard in Times Square. I was in the book. I hosted the big launch party. And so
awesome.
To be able to be a part of that, to be a part of something that had such an effect on me and my career and my path in life, was really, really special. And Isaac was part of that shoot as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, how fun.
Well, that was such forward thinking, just a consumer model. Yeah. And I remember how much shit people gave Isaac for that he was like dumbing down fashion and selling out to the masses. And you know what he's doing? Laughing all the way to the bank, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I loved his stuff.
Even though
years ago, I shared an office with Naomi Campbell. We shared.
That makes sense.
This was like almost 20 years ago, and she would do commercials for things that we just found very off-brand for her.
Okay,
and we're like, what? I don't get this. Like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, it just doesn't really fit. And she's like, darling, sell to the masses and dine with the classes. So Isaac, I'm sure felt the same way. He's like, honey, no, make your clothing accessible. Make it for everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Brilliant.
Can't you see her saying that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Sell to the masses and dine with the classes.
Dine with the classes.
Oh my gosh.
Even though that was your inspiration to get into design, in your book, I'm paraphrasing, but you say something about your instincts are the CEO of your design project.
I love that sentence.
And if you love it, it will work every damn time. Yeah. But there is something to be said for having natural good instincts about design. When did you notice that you were drawn to that or had a talent for that? Was it early in childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I remember from like my 5th or 6th birthday using my birthday money to buy decor for my room because I didn't like it. I talked about this
totally.
In the book. My mother had my room decorated in all red, and I just that was not my vibe. It was not relaxing. It was not zen. And so I used my birthday money to buy, blue stuff and dinosaur posters. And, so it's been something that even as a little single-digit kid, I understood the impact that design has on your mental health.
Oh my gosh, that is so on brand. Mm-hmm. The die was cast early. I love that quote from you. I love when you tell people that your instincts are the CEO of your own project. No joke. I wish I had a picture to show you. I just had my whole master bathroom. I'm divorced now, and so this is my house. I own it. I'm the only adult here. The mortgage is mine. So I'm like, I can do what I want. It's my house. Like I can make it look however I want. It doesn't have to be all grayed down like I did 10 years ago. And I notice that I'm always drawn to punchy rooms, like where this is full of life. Like this room has character. So I just painted my entire master bathroom, which is like 12-foot ceilings and it's over the top, fuchsia. I mean, it is Palm Springs glam. Like twinkly lights and big graphic wallpaper and like it's outrageous. You saw it. It's outrageous.
It's outrageous and gorgeous.
How does that bright? One question I do have though is how does that bright fuchsia color affect you getting ready with makeup now?
That's a great question.
Does it reflect off your skin?
You know, that is so funny that I haven't even noticed.
Well, then it's fine. Then it's fine.
I guess it's fine.
Colors. Yeah, there are some colors. I always kind of recommend not doing like a red. I would never recommend doing a bathroom with red because
it shines.
That color is because the mirror is in front of you. I mean, it's reflecting. So that color, when the lights come on, will reflect on your skin and have an effect on you getting ready. But if you don't notice it, then it's fine. It must be a big enough room that it's fine. Yeah, you're good then.
Well, even if it does, look, I've been doing my makeup the same way for 25 years. What difference?
You're like, I can do it in the
dark. Do you know what I mean? I can do it in the dark. Like, it's not that fancy. Yeah. So
I had somebody, I had a friend a few years ago paint her room a very bright green. And we started noticing her makeup was just looking weird. And we're like, what is the foundation you're using recently? She's like, I don't know. I just feel like every time I come out of the bathroom now, I look weird. And I realize, I'm like, it's because this green you're using is reflecting off your skin and you're compensating in the mirror because you think that's the color. And so we had to do just one accent wall in the bathroom of that and then paint the rest a more neutral color because of the size of her bathroom and the way the mirrors were and the lights. It was reflecting that hue on her skin and she didn't realize it. And so she was adjusting her makeup for that. And she's like, yeah, my skin's just really weird lately. And I'm like, no. It's the paint color in your bathroom.
She's like, I'm jaundiced and I don't know why. I get plenty of sun.
Like, I just don't
this is why you're a designer. Like that thought would never have occurred to me.
Not ever.
Like this is a thought that a designer says, now let's think through the fuchsia. Let's just discuss all the ways that it could go. That's why you're good at what you do. Hell. So, by the way, let me say this. Your website is awesome, Bobby. Like, it is jammed with good stuff. Like, just idea after idea after idea after here's a small space, here's tall walls, here's if you like this style, here's if you like that. It's just so good. Like, I went down a rabbit hole and felt like, well, I guess I need a whole new house. Like I've been inspired, but I would love to hear some of your, you were in New York for what? Is it 20 years?
Oh no. How old do you think I am? No, I was there for 12.
12 years. Okay. Yeah, 12 years. 12 years in New York. So tell me a little bit about that season of your career because... Have you?
Wow.
Yeah,
time goes fast.
I know. I've been there for 9 years.
Time's weird.
How old are you, Bobby? Oh,
43.
did we not say that?
No.
Oh, you're 43. Okay, yeah.
I'm in the public space. I can't lie about my age.
No, somebody else. There's no hiding from Al Gore's internet.
A few years ago, it was during the Emmys, and we were going out, and Joey King is a friend of mine. And we were leaving an Emmy party, and Wanda Sykes happened to be with us, and we were going to go to the Abbey in LA. And Joey was like, as we're pulling up, she's like, by the way, I'm 19. And first of all, we're like, wait, what? What?
Okay, first of all, what?
Yeah. But I mean, she's been in Hollywood since she was like 4 years old. She is not your typical 19-year-old. I thought she just was a young 30. And Wanda was like, it's okay. We'll just tell him you like forgot your ID. It's fine. You're with me. And so we get to the tour man and she was like, yeah, I forgot my ID. And he's like, oh, okay. Boop, boop, boop. Just Googled her. He's like, you're 19. Yeah. So she's like, okay, never mind. I'm going to go home. Yeah. So we can't lie about our age.
Oh my God. That is in modern day right there. Look, the gig is up. Like the gig is up. My mom went to high school with Kirstie Alley, and for years, like Kirstie's whole adult career, she put herself quite a bit south of her age. And I'm like, you could do that in the olden days. You really could.
You can't do it now.
You're like, classmates aren't coming for you. Where are they going to do it? Where are they going to mail a letter?
Even Tan, he always said he was a year younger because online, for some reason, it said he was a year younger on his wiki. And so he was like, I'm just going to go with it. But then somehow someone figured it out and it was fixed online. And so now he can't.
Okay, that's hilarious. I'd have gone with it, I think.
Yeah. He's
I think I'd have been like, look, I'm just saying what the internet says, damn it.
Exactly.
By the way, because you just said this word and it gave me a ping in my brain, can we talk about how you looked at the Emmys this year?
Thank you.
Dude. I wrote on your Instagram account, I was like, the glamour is hurting my eyes. Like,
thank you.
You looked like $10 million. You look like $10 million.
Hey, in this economy, that's great.
It is. In this economy, that'll get you something.
Yeah.
That'll get you something. You look so great. Did you do all your own styling or did you have a helper?
No. I have an amazing stylist named Benjamin. He's phenomenal. I've been with him for quite a few years now.
Yeah. You were a smoke show. Absolutely amazing. Okay, but here's what I was asking you. I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about the New York portion of your career. I mean, you were really building at that point, and you were working for other companies, and you were having your comeuppance. And so I'd love to just hear about what you felt like for those 12 years in New York, and what was it like to design for clients? And were they all like the penthouses that we see in the movies, or were you doing small? What were you doing?
So in New York, I moved there when I was 21. I had planned on just, getting a job as a server. I really had no other direction. And then when I got there, I found out that you can't get a job as a server in New York unless you have New York City server experience.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, right. And so it took me about 3 months to find a job. And I had done retail management for years as well. So my first job was a manager at Restoration Hardware. And so that, I had worked retail. I had worked at the Bombay Company. I'd worked at the Great Indoors, and then Restoration Hardware. And, again, I had always loved design growing up, but I never thought that could be a career because I assumed I needed to go to school for that, which you should if you want to be a designer. It really does help. And so I worked there for a while, and then, I ended up at Bed Bath & Beyond, and then a few other companies, Portico, and then eventually I started my own online retail store for furniture. It was one of the first online retailers for furniture in the US, period. And that did well. Wow. And so then I opened up my own brick and mortar stores in New York and Miami and Atlanta and LA. And that's when I really started loving helping the customers design their homes more than running a retail company. Retail can be soul crushing sometimes,
brutal
especially in New York. And so, as years went on, I started focusing more on helping customers design their spaces. But I never really fully designed a home from scratch until 2015. I was always just I was a curator of pretty things, I always like to say. I picked out everything for the stores. I would help customers pick out stuff for their house, but I wasn't doing construction documents. I wasn't doing electrical plans. I wasn't doing tile layouts. I was just picking out furniture. And it wasn't until 2015 I got a call from Builder Magazine, and they were partnering with TriPoint Homes to design these show homes for the International Builder Show in Vegas. And it was all about what millennials wanted in homes. Now, of course, we don't care what millennials want. We think about Gen Z now. And so I they're like, can you do this? And I'm like, yes, of course. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I had, I still don't know how to use CAD. So luckily I got on YouTube and Google, and I figured it out, and I taught myself what I needed to learn and installed those homes, and they were a big success. And then TriPoint started hiring me to do full homes in some of their developments. And then fast forward, 10 years later, we're in a huge partnership together, and I do a big chunk of their communities across the US and 15, 16, 17 different metro areas now. And it's been
That's
a really
awesome.
great partnership. I always like to say we dated for about 8 years before we finally got married.
Sure.
Yeah, we're in a great, loving relationship.
It's
You know,
so you
and,
have
and
what you've done is you go ahead.
I was just to say, I love working with TriPoint because, obviously there's a lot of designers out there who love the big fancy multi-million-dollar projects, and that's great. Good for you.
Sure.
Do your thing. For me, yeah, every once in a while we'll do some of those, but I like designing homes for real people. I like showing people that, you can make that $200,000 or, depending on the market, TriPoint has homes everywhere from, depending on where they are, from $200,000 to, $4 or $5 million, depending on the market.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do get to do, like we just did a beautiful development up in Seattle. And I think the homes are, I think the one we did was like 3.5. And so the great thing about TriPoint is they're a home builder, you might say a mass home builder, even though I don't love to use the word mass, but they're a home builder that really thinks about design. And that was one of the reasons why I've always had a lot of fun working with them, because it's not just about the bottom line for them. It's really about how these homes make people feel. And TriPoint makes it feel much more like a custom home builder than a mass home builder like you would associate some of the other builders with.
Totally.
And they're in Austin now, too. Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that. Are they up and running in Austin? It was
we did our first community with them out in Dripping Springs. I think we installed it last year sometimes. Yeah.
That's awesome. What a cool partnership.
That is. I want to pivot and talk about the holiday season that's almost upon us.
It's the holiday season.
Once it hits October, it's New Year's. So
basically,
like we're just in it.
Comes fast. I'd love to know what your relationship is with the holidays and what you and your husband do to feel festive.
Which one is a good question?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, starting in November and on, it's sort of nonstop. Do you have a vastly different...
My relationship with the holidays is non-existent.
Is that right?
I think it comes...
What do you mean?
I spend my life decorating things. And so I think, and also I worked retail for so many years. And, often the holidays start in September in retail stores.
God, that's so true.
And I got my fill. Listening to holiday music every day for 4 months of the year. Decorating trees for 4 months of the year. I think I've never really thought of it in that matter of why I'm not really a huge fan of the holidays. But I think it's because I experience the holidays way more than most people do. And not to mention, I didn't have a big family growing up. It was just my sister and I. And so, and sometimes we'd go to Texas to visit my grandparents and aunts, but I didn't have cousins. So Christmas was never a big, huge thing for my family. And so to this day, my husband and I celebrate it by going somewhere. The holidays is really especially now being in entertainment, the holidays is the one time of year where I know more than likely I won't be working because productions just don't happen in the holidays. So starting from mid-November until after New Year's is kind of just meetings don't happen, shows don't get filmed, commercials don't get shot. True. That is a time of year I know I can say, all right, we are going to our home in Portugal for a month and a half, and I don't have to worry about missing anything. And so for us, the holidays are all about leaving and getting out of town.
Dreamy.
That's actually a really healthy boundary of not getting sucked back into something that didn't bring you joy.
It's so it just zaps you when you're in retail. I mean, it's not even fun. You just hate everybody. You hate Christmas, hate the baby Jesus. We just want none of it. Santa Claus, boo. I didn't know you had a house in Portugal.
And holiday shopping always just brought out the worst in people. And so it's just, I think people that work retail sometimes just have PTSD with the holidays.
Yes. Yeah.
So even though you have some healthy
boundaries
and leave, what's your advice for your clients who still want to decorate, but you understand the the huge role mental health plays, and how your environment affects that. How do you advise your clients when they're decorating for the holidays? Like, how can you do it where it's still celebratory but not chaos?
Well, so the thing is, it goes back to being the CEO. If Christmas chaos makes you happy, I don't know if you guys watch Drag Race, but there's a drag queen named Chanel. She was on, I think, season 1 or 2, and then she came back for All Stars recently. And the level that she decorates for Christmas, it is insane. Like, her home, she lives in Vegas, her home turns into something that is, it is more magnificent than any casino's Christmas display could ever be. And it takes over her entire home. And she just absolutely loves it. It's her favorite. Yeah. She loves to live in the North freaking Pole. That's my worst nightmare, but for her, it makes her happy. So my advice is, my sister puts up about 6 Christmas trees in her house. She loves it. If that makes you happy, if you love starting in October and for the next 3 months, just decorating your house, if that was what makes you tick, do it. But if you don't feel pressured to do it. Don't be like, oh, well, my friends don't think I'm festive because I don't decorate. Well, that's not your friend's house. If your friends want to decorate their house, let them decorate their house. Don't feel pressured to decorate for Christmas or the holidays or Hanukkah or Halloween or, what's the other one? Thanksgiving. Just there because people think you're a Grinch. Not to mention the environmental impact of all this stuff, so don't feel pressured to do it. If that stuff makes you happy, great. If it doesn't, don't feel pressured to do it.
Oh my gosh.
That is good advice.
I love that. My first Christmas after I had gotten divorced and everything was overwhelming. Life was overwhelming. Just a Tuesday was overwhelming. So we were coming up on Christmas and I was like, boy, I just am going to have to make the magic. I've got to make the magic for the kids and I've got to do the thing. And even just the thought of dragging out all the boxes and doing it by myself. And I was so daunting. And I'm telling you that I got my phone and I Googled and I called and I found some little boutique company and they're like, we'll come in and do it all. We'll bring in the tree. We'll bring in the decorations. We'll bring in the garland. We'll set it up. We'll come in the day after Christmas, take everything out like it was never there. And I was like, take my credit card. Take my money. I don't care what your price is. Name it. And I bought Christmas. I had consumer Christmas that year, and it was brilliant. My house looked lovely and not like a garbage little kid Christmas tree like it looked like for so many years. I'm like, this looks like it belongs in the mall. It's a beautiful mall Christmas tree.
The first show I ever did for HGTV was Celebrity Holiday Homes back in 2013. And they had me come in and decorate Tiffany Amber Thiessen's home, who is just one of the most lovely human beings you'll ever meet in your life. She's just
That's nice to hear.
Wonderful. And we were doing her great room and, we were shooting this in July. So, it had to be very planned because you couldn't just run out and get decorations. So the original plan was for the tree to be in the corner. And so I got enough decorations to decorate, 2/3 of the tree because the back half was going to be facing a wall because that, budget wise, what I could get in July. And then last minute, the producer was like, you know what? No, I think this tree needs to be in the center of the room. And I was like, no, I don't have enough decorations for this. So luckily, Home Depot already had out holiday decor at the end of July. Right. All they had was the Martha Stewart Christmas stuff. But I was like, thank God, Martha.
Yeah, thanks, Martha. She comes through yet again.
It didn't go with what I had planned, but we made it work.
Oh my gosh!
Christmas always traumatizing me.
It'll find a way. It's like you think you're going to Portugal. Well, guess what? We're going to put the tree in the middle of the room. So joke's on you, guy.
I can't get away from this.
By the way,
Karamo popping up on my watch.
Is that what he's doing? Stop texting me. Stop being obsessed with me.
Notification from Facebook or from Instagram, and it's because Cromwell's face, and it says, "Don't use the term coming out." I'm like, leave me alone, Cromwell. I love you, but not right now.
Wait, what?
Look, friends are bossy. We know it. Like, we very much tell each other what to do and say and not to do and say. So why should you have to escape that at all? Okay, listen. We have just, I think we sent these pictures over. We just did it before. We did a reno of this little studio.
There's pictures.
So this is, they may not have come over, but it doesn't matter because you can see behind us. But
yes,
this is like
a
little...
No,
okay, this was like a little structure in the back of my yard. It was garbage, like trash garbage. I could see the dirt through the floor, like when we first bought this. Our house is old. It's like 1908. So everything here is like really old on the property. No, I'm in Buda, which is just south of Austin. But we're like in the little old downtown Buda, super cute, very Main Street, very like Americana.
I thought you were in Travis Heights before. Maybe I just imagined that.
I wish I was in Travis Heights, Bobby.
I imagined
Me too.
Were that close when we were there.
Is that where your house was? I thought you guys were on the east side.
No, Bolden Creek. No, we were in Bolden Creek. The house that we shot in was out in what's it? I think it was east side. But no, I lived in Bolden Creek.
Oh, the cutest.
Yeah,
it's a great neighborhood.
It was great.
I know. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Mary Street.
Yeah.
God, you lived in the belly of the beast.
Yeah, it was great.
Love it down there.
And I was lucky enough to get the same house when we came back to film again.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the couple loved me because I gave their house back to them better than I got it. They're like,
sure.
All the maintenance issues were fixed. They're like, the yard's been taken care of. And I'm like, yeah, you had a designer stuck in your house for 4 months during COVID.
Truly, like, there's worse renters than the two of you. And I'm so sorry that you did find yourself here during summer.
On my Airbnb review the first time, they were like, our plants have never looked better than when Bobby was in our house.
That's amazing. I love it.
Normally after long-term guests, we have to replace them all, but these are thriving.
Of course. and replace everything you stole. So how nice that you were like a thoughtful renter.
I live on an acre. I live outside of Austin a little bit. I already have one tiny home for a kid that's soft launched in the backyard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I hope to build a few, both for kids and visitors and rental income. What are some tips you have, do's or don'ts, when designing and living in a really tiny space?
Yeah.
Think about your real estate from top to bottom, not just side to side, and make sure that everything has at least a dual function, if not a multi-function. If there's a table, make sure that table has storage in it. If it's a seat, make sure that seat opens up and, it's a cube that has storage in it. Make sure that everything has dual use. That's my biggest piece of advice. And, again, think of things from top to bottom, not just side to side. Utilize that real estate all the way up to the ceiling.
What is something you can do to not make it feel so closed in? I mean, there's only so many square feet, even if it's super functional. How can you make it still feel welcoming without claustrophobic?
I mean, mirrors are always a great thing. They definitely open up a space.
Good tip.
Obviously windows, do as many windows as possible. Do it, try to do indoor outdoor space. Instead of doing a window, do a glass door. That can open up. And when the weather's good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Well, the weather is good in Austin for like 3 months.
3 months.
So I mean, we got to keep that shit shut tight from May to November. It's hot. It's
funny. So we started there in March, and I was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna stay in Austin until ever. But then May got there, And I was like,
yeah, I'm so sorry.
Peace out. It is
I mean,
100 degrees
truly.
and 120% humidity. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, I'm originally from Houston, so I'm just like, this is not
true.
for me. Yeah. And there's a
Yeah,
reason
you
why I
left
don't
for a
live.
reason. That's
Literally,
right.
the swamp ass is why I left Texas.
I know.
Yeah.
I have taken it upon myself to travel the entire month of July. And I'm like, why would I be here if I don't have to? Where else can I go?
Yeah.
All right. Before we let you go back to your life today, we'd love to hear what you are the most excited about right now. Think what's coming up for you, or something you want to come up for you. You're like, this is an itch I want to scratch, and I haven't done it yet, but this is something I'd like to do, one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I have some great new shows that I'm working on at the moment that will be announced and coming out in the next 6 months. So I'm
We
really
don't get to
excited
know about
that.
those.
No, not yet. Not yet. Sorry. And my partnership with Tri Point Homes, I am always excited
Yeah.
about that because we're always getting to do, like, we have a new project coming up with them outside of Salt Lake City that is not only a planned community, but we're also doing 6 completely custom home built, like beautiful, like 4,000 or 5,000 square foot homes. The
Wow.
land that they bought for the 100 home community happened to be attached to these 6, I think, like acre and a half lots. And so we're doing like 6 like
Wow.
estate homes. And those will be really cool because they're, again, they'll be completely custom homes that we're getting ready, that we're
Yeah.
able to do like lots of fun stuff with. So I literally had the kickoff meeting for those on Friday. Yeah, so lots of fun things. Again, that's what's great about Tri Point
Fancy.
is they're a major home builder, but they love making those homes so custom.
Yeah, I love that. That's unusual. I would
Yes.
not say that is industry standard at
No,
all.
not at
So that's a great partner for you to work with. Fantastic.
And they,
Well, I can't
they
wait.
do,
I'm so happy
again,
to
they do
find out about your
everything
shows.
from first-time home buyers. They do townhomes to the
Yeah.
$5 million custom home. Yeah.
Great. Like something for everybody.
Exactly.
I would love some of my young adults to discover a home there and move out. So we love to see first-time home buyer incentives. Okay, well, look, we love you to death. I'm so delighted to hear you have new shows coming out. You're so great at that. It would be a crime for you not to get back in front of the camera. So
Agreed.
You're just made for that too. Like, not all designers are like great in front of a camera. But you are. So exciting. We'll be watching for whenever you can tell us about that. It's very mysterious, very kept behind the firewall.
It is, though.
but-
It is.
Yes, thrilling. Thanks for coming on today. It's just always so great to see you, and
Me too.
just loved knowing you these last few years. I loved watching you. I love your relationships. I like how you are. I like how you treat people. To say nothing like of all your immense gifts and talents. You're so good at what you do. So anyway,
Thank you, love. I
cheering for you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right,
Thanks for
ladies.
being here.
Good to see ya. I think my favorite thing about what he said was the quote that you gave him, which is you're the CEO of your own instincts and design. And if you love it, it's going to work.
It's going to work.
Love that.
Every damn time is what he says.
Every damn time.
in his book.
Sometimes design feels dire. Like, oh, I can't paint that wall. Or what if I don't like it? Well, what if you don't? Repaint it.
Repaint it.
These are not dire things, actually. Design should not be this like tight-chested business.
In his book and his website, thread the needle really well on encouraging you to go with what you like, go with your instincts, but also for people who struggle for accessing that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of people can look at 3 different pictures and say which one they like more.
Yeah.
But then just figuring out what to
good
do in
point.
their own space is sometimes paralyzing.
That's so true.
And he does a great job of saying, like, use your instincts and also here's some tools.
Yes, totally. And then even here's links. If you like this look, here, I've already shopped it for you. And one of my favorite things is, sorry guys, right when I first went to his website, the first 4 sort of home items that he had kind of curated to go with the room that he was showcasing, Walmart and Target. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're not talking about out of reach pieces that only like rich and fancy people can buy.
No, he's like an Amazon storefront.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic.
And also everything looks great still.
Oh, he's got beautiful taste.
Yeah.
Truly. Thanks for being here with us today, you guys. And we'll have this episode over at jenhatmaker.com under the podcast tab. And we'll round up all the links to Bobby's socials and his book and his website so you can find them all in one place. He's a really fun person to follow too. He's just positive and funny, and his life is so interesting. And he's one of my favorite social follows as well. So thank you everybody for subscribing. We really appreciate that. If you haven't already done it, really, I mean, take the 5 seconds. It'll cost you. And wherever you listen to podcasts, just hit add or plus or follow, whatever the term is on that particular platform, and that's it. You will have subscribed, and then our show will come to you just auto week after week, and you won't miss any of them. You can go back through the catalog really easily and pick up anything you happen to miss. So thanks for doing that and for rating and reviewing the show. We read all of those, and those all matter to us. All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you next time.
Thank y'all.